So today we're going to be talking about what to consider when selecting respiratory protection. So first up, the most important thing to consider is what are you protecting against? Are you protecting against particulates, acid gases? That's where your filter selection comes in. All these filters are interchangeable with these masks we've got here. The second thing you want to consider is the protection level. You're going to get significantly more protection from a powered air respirator that provides positive pressure into the mask at all times than you are from a negative pressure half mask. So your half masks are good for your light duty, low hazardous areas, or when you're only going to have a short exposure time in the hazardous environment. If you want protection against eyes as well as respiratory, or you have a more toxic environment, then a full face mask is a really good way to go. And then if you're in a particularly toxic environment or you're working for long periods, then a powered air mask has the advantage that it takes a lot of the breathing resistance out because the motor does the work for you. I just whenever we look at this mask for a start, I particularly like this. It's got a huge number of features which really help with user acceptance, which is another thing you need to take into account. First off, it's pretty good looking masks. I mean, I know if we look at it against some of our industrial competitors there, it's favourably compared by a lot of people. They like the look of it, and it also gives great vision. Another thing is ease of use and maintenance. All these masks have been designed so they're very easy to keep clean. The lack of sort of nooks and crannies means you can give it a wipe down afterwards, which is really handy and quite important. Cost is going to be a key feature as well. If you're looking at a large workforce that are going through a lot of masks, not necessarily protecting them, then you might want to be going at the more economy end. I don't know, you've had a bit of experience with that, Mike. What sort of feedback have you had around that?
This is widely used in the insulation industry where it's had huge acceptance. Pretty lightweight, low cost, the kind of mask you'd use where you're at risk of the workers accidentally losing them.
Yeah, it's a key thing people need to take into account. If you've got a long wear time, moving up to a silicone mask like this gives you a greater level of comfort. It also has things like more adjustment points. So you'll notice on the full face masks we have here, they've got 6 adjustment points, and that's really key if you want a good face fit. The other thing you want to consider is, are there any additional safety features that are available? Now, my favourite feature on these 3 masks here is the speech diaphragm. So mostly when you're wearing respiratory, one of the big problems is people can't hear you. But this has a speech diaphragm built at the front, and I'll demonstrate it so you can see what I mean.
I guess that's particularly important in high hazard environments where you can communicate clearly with your colleagues.
Absolutely. If you need to speak, you want to make sure that your colleagues can hear you. There's nothing worse than a muffled sound and people have to lift the mask to say, "What did you say, mate?" Now if we compare that to one of the other masks on the market. So if I start speaking with this, it's very muffled.
Very difficult to hear you with that mask on. And I noticed when you're putting it on, the difference between the 2 masks. The compact nature of this one, a lot lighter in feel, a lot more compact, so probably a lot more comfortable for the wearer to use. Another thing with all these masks is the ease of getting the filters on and off. It's a constant frustration when people have bayonet fittings. One starts high and goes low, and no one ever really remembers what it is. This is a twist lock system. It just twists and locks on. Nice and simple. We hope you've enjoyed this short presentation today. Selecting the right kind of equipment for your workforce is important in meeting your obligations under the Health and Safety at Work Act. So if you've got any questions about what we've covered today, please don't hesitate to get in touch.